You are listening to We Saw the Devil, an investigative and conversational true crime podcast that deep dives into fascinating criminal cases that are solved, unsolved, or ongoing. From America's Lori Vallow to Germany's Armin Meiwes, we examine and discuss the world's most shocking cases. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to follow us online. Check us out at WeSawTheDevil.com and We Saw the Devil on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget, you can become part of the show by backing us on Patreon.
Where's your emergency?
Hey, hello, there's someone breaking in my house. Help! Help!
Hello everyone, you are listening to We Saw the Devil. This is Robin, and I am back with part 3 of Unmasking a Killer, the Pam Hup story. And this is literally where things skid completely off the rails in a level of craziness that I have never, ever before seen. So I'm excited to dive into that. First, Jackie is still here. She'll be joining me on our Lori Vallow episode coming out on Friday. If you've been keeping up with the Lori Vallow case, you will know that there's been a lot of legal stuff happening. Not so much any big happenings in the case other than Tammy Daybell's autopsy coming back, although it is still private, but more so just motions. There was a hearing today, lasted a couple hours. So we will be covering all of that on Friday, explaining what happened and what it all means. Before we get into the Pam Hup story, let's just get some quick housekeeping out of the way. You already know where to find us. You can find us at We Saw the Devil across all social media accounts. Also, our Patreon. If you're loving the show and want to financially back it, you can do so and receive a series of perks in return that range from t-shirts, stickers, merch, a really cool private Facebook group where you can chat with us about different cases. And if you become an executive producer, then you can even come on the show and discuss your favorite or most interesting cases with us live in an episode. So, that being said, let's get into it. Let's just start with a recap. So far, we have covered how Pam Hupp's best friend, Betsy Faria, ended up murdered with 55 stab wounds only 5 days after making Pam Hupp her life insurance beneficiary. Betsy Faria's husband, Russ, was tried for her murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. After spending almost 4 years in prison, he successfully appealed for a new trial and was then acquitted of all charges. I discussed the corruption, ineptitude, and basically the overall nefariousness of the police and prosecution when it came to his case. I mean, seriously, guys, if this case doesn't make your blood boil, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know what will. It is trifling. Because this case is so complex with multiple ongoing arcs, we are actually going to backtrack a little bit for part 3, back to Russ Faria's first trial. If you recall, right before Russ's first trial, which began on November 18th of 2013, police investigators interviewed Pam Hupp multiple times, because obviously she was the last person to see Betsy, so that makes sense. Police were aware of the life insurance policy change and questioned her about it a couple times. She was always immediately defensive, and she ended up bringing up her mother, Shirley Newman, using her almost as a defense as to why she had no motive for money. So here is a clip of Pam Hupp from a July of 2013 pre-trial interview with police.
2 months ago, my mom got in an accident and we had to put her in a home. I really hate to say it, wanted money. My mom's worth $500,000 that I get when she dies. My mom is dementia and doesn't half the time know who we are.
Right.
Has been living alone in a condo. And I know that sounds really morbid and stuff like that, but I am a life insurance person. But if I really wanted money, there was an easier way than trying to combat somebody that's physically stronger than me. I'm just saying.
Shirley Newman, Pam's 78-year-old mother, died just 4 months after this interview on October 31st of 2013. Halloween evening, just 2.5 weeks before Russ Faria's first trial. She had fallen off the railing from her third-floor apartment in an upscale and gated assisted living facility. There had been no witnesses, and police deemed it an accident. Let's break down what happened. Shirley's husband and Pam's father died in the year 2000. When she became unable to care for herself, Pam and her 3 siblings worked together to get Shirley into the Lakeview Park Independent Senior Living Community in Fenton, Missouri. Pam would frequently visit her. During the day, on October 29th of 2013, Shirley had a doctor's appointment. Pam transported her to the appointment, and then Shirley spent the night at her house, spending time with Pam's family. The next day, at roughly 5 p.m., Pam and Shirley arrived back at Lakeview Park. Pam instructed the facility staff not to expect her mom for either dinner or breakfast. She then left. The next day, on Halloween, at 2:30 p.m., a housekeeper found Shirley Newman dead underneath her 3rd-floor balcony. There was damage to the railing, and she had fallen to her death. After 2 police investigations, the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office deemed Shirley Newman's death as an accident. Shirley had died from blunt trauma to the chest from the fall, and the medical examiner also found 0.84 micrograms of zolpidem, generic Ambien, in her blood. That's more than 8 times what someone her age and size should be taking. But still, it was ruled an accident, even though a structural engineer said that there was absolutely zero way a woman of Shirley Newman's weight and height could have damaged the 6 individual pieces of railing. Pam Hupp was the last person to see Shirley alive, yet she was never interviewed. Her siblings, however, had been, even though they weren't even local to the area or present and hadn't seen their mother in quite a while. In his first trial, Russ was convicted and sentenced to life in prison just a few weeks later. Shirley Newman's death and Pam's presence was never investigated and never considered. Moving on to January of 2014. As we talked about in part 2, the St. Louis Dispatch and KTVI began a deep dive investigation into Betsy Faria's death right after Russ was initially convicted. Journalist Chris Hayes from KTVI became the face of this investigation. He interviewed Russ Faria multiple times and even went to go visit Pam Hupp at her home. The following clip is from his January 2014 interview. All credit to this clip, have to say it goes to Chris Hayes and KTVI. Please listen to and subscribe to his channel if you are interested in this case. I will put the link in the show notes. Hayes knocked on Pam's door and asked her immediately about the death of her mother. This is what transpired.
I decided on a cold January day to see if Hupp would talk to me. Surprisingly, she talked for 30 minutes at her front door. Her mother had died 2 months earlier.
How did your mom die?
How did my mom die?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What happened?
She died. Like the people in the home say she committed suicide, so I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, just jumped?
Well, I don't know, because we don't know yet what's going on.
Okay.
So,
Was she suicidal?
I don't think so. I don't know. You know, how do you know with Alzheimer's people?
Hupp said she was about to move her mom out of the senior community.
She couldn't afford to live there anymore.
In part 2, I also discussed how, while preparing for the first trial, a police investigator asked Pam Hupp why she hadn't dispersed the money to Betsy's daughters. Pam more or less used her own mother as a defense. The detective convinced her that she needed to put the money in a revocable trust fund, which she did, but then magically canceled it just 3 weeks later after Russ was convicted. In April of 2014, Betsy Faria's daughters sued Pam Hupp in a civil trial in an attempt to claim that life insurance money.
Did you lie to anybody else that you've spoken to, Ms. Hupp, about what you were going to do with these life insurance proceeds?
Possibly.
Okay. Who else might you have lied to, Ms. Hupp?
Anybody that would bug me and bug me and bug me and bug me.
The detectives bug you and bug you?
Yeah.
So you might have lied to them?
No. They didn't bug me about the proceeds. That wasn't their focus.
In February of 2015, Russ Faria's retrial was approved. Pam Hupp met with prosecutor Leah Askey for yet another interview. The two women talked about a wide variety of topics, including the insurance money that Hupp had declined to give Betsy's daughters. They had this conversation. Pam Hupp flat out admitted that she refused to give the money out of spite.
The more people kept telling me to do it, the more I didn't want to do it. I didn't.
Right.
It was really pissing me off.
We're getting bullied.
Leah Askey also brought up the death of Pam's mom, Shirley, who again had $500,000, $500,000 of life insurance policy. Pam became very defensive and once again defended herself from an accusation that had not even been made.
Did she really have dementia? I just found out last week she really didn't have dementia. Before she went into this home, we had to have her tested. So her doctor sent, my brother did, so I didn't know, to a neurologist to do the Alzheimer dementia test. So you know what home to put her in. He did it, and the doctor said, yeah, she's got a little bit of problems, whatever. She's 77, whatever. Does she have dementia? No. Do we say that in our family? Heck yeah, because to us it was like, oh, there goes Grandma again. She's got Alzheimer. We do all the jokes, and when people ask, yeah, to me she had dementia. Right. By a neurologist, she did not. That's why she was placed in that home, and that's why it was no threat to be on the 3rd floor.
Right.
But to everybody else on this planet, I took a 210-pound woman and threw her through railings. How do you do that? How does a man do that?
Well, should everyone, well, yeah, I know how stories get out of hand.
But wait, there's more. For Russ's retrial, Pam had a brand new memory resurface. Now, 4 years later, she somehow recalled seeing Russ Faria and another man sitting outside of the Faria household the night of the murder. Even so, after all the evidence was provided, Russ was acquitted on November 7th of 2015. As I stated in the last episode, the story didn't end there, neither for Russ Faria nor for Pam Hup. During all of this, even though Russ had been cleared, Fox 2 KTVI was still independently investigating the case. They found multiple questionable rulings in 2014 and again in 2016. They were also hot on the trail of Pam Hup. In July of 2016, Russ Faria filed a civil rights lawsuit against Leah Askey and 3 officers from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, claiming that they had, quote, fabricated evidence, ignored exonerating evidence, and failed to investigate the other obvious suspect. Obviously, a reference to Pam Hup. Just a month later, on August 16, 2016, the St. Charles Emergency Dispatch received the following 911 call from Pam Hup. Now, I'm going to play the full 911 call, which comes in at almost 5 minutes. And just a FYI, it may be disturbing to some because you do hear life-ending gunshots. We will listen to that 911 call now.
911, where's your emergency?
Hey, hello, there's someone breaking in my house. Help.
What's the address you're at?
Help.
Want me to give you? Want me to give your wife?
No, I'm not getting in the car with you. No,
What's
get
your
away.
address?
Get out, get out, get out. Help.
Ma'am, what's the address you're at?
Help, help.
Why is somebody breaking into?
No.
Hello?
Help.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Help.
What's the address you're at? Hello?
Hello, who is it?
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Where are you
I
at?
have an intruder in my house.
Where are you at? Who broke into your home?
I don't know. I'm here.
Where's he at right
I'm
now?
outside. I'm going outside. Come on, who's this?
The fire alarms are going off too.
Hello.
Is he inside?
Yes.
Is he a white male, a black male?
He's white. He's white. Hurry. He tried to get me in my car and I ran into the house.
He tried to take you into his car?
He tried to take me in my car. Help. Hurry. Please, somebody.
Have officers on the way, ma'am. Where are you at right now in the home?
I'm in the garage.
You're in the garage?
My car. He's still in the house.
Okay, can you run to a neighbor's house?
I don't think there's anybody home now. I'm going to stay here. I have my dog. I have my puppy.
You have your puppy with you?
Yes.
You have no idea who the subject is?
No.
Are there any weapons in the home?
Yes, there's a gun on my bed. I shot him.
There's a gun on your bed. You shot him?
Yes, I shot him. He tried to get in my bedroom after me, and I shot him.
There's a gun in the home. She said she shot him. Is he still, as far as you know, is he still in your room?
No, he's in the hallway.
He's in the hallway. Is he moving?
Is the hallway? No, he's not moving.
Not moving?
Oh, hurry!
Ma'am, we already have help on the way. Just stay on the line with me. Is the garage door open?
Yes, everything's open. I was leaving out of my car. Where are they?
They're on the way, ma'am. Are you injured?
No, he didn't get me. He didn't get to me.
He didn't get you?
No, he did not get me. They're not here yet. They're not here.
I understand they're not there yet. I'm going to let you know when they're close.
Okay.
Okay, so you are not injured, though?
No.
What's your name?
My name is Pam.
Pam?
Yes. Where are they?
Is anybody in the home with you besides the subject who broke in?
No, just my dog.
Just you and your dog?
I have my dog with me. Help. Please, where are they?
We have help on the way. Let me know when you hear them.
Okay.
I should have an officer pulling up. Do you see him?
It's an unwhite car. I don't know. It's just a white car.
It's going to be one of our command staff. Is he in a uniform?
He's here. He's here.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. Talk to the officer.
As you heard, Pam Hupp called 911 to report that a man was breaking into her home. She claimed that he had gotten into her car with her, held a knife to her throat, and demanded that she take him to the bank to get, quote, Russ's money. She said that she was able to push him off and run into the home where he pursued her. She ran into her bedroom where she grabbed a .38 Ruger LCR, and as he came, quote, after her like a madman, she shot him 5 times, ending his life in the hallway. Here is what she told police investigators.
I hit his arm with the knife and then shot out of the car and ran inside. He goes, we're going to the bank, we're getting Russ's money. And he started getting all agitated and excited. I just started shooting and walking towards him because I wanted to be sure I hit him. Because everybody kept saying that's a little gun and blah, 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 and I got to reclose. So once that door opened and he was there, I just started shooting and walking towards him until I didn't have any more.
Yes, you heard that right. Russ's money. And yes, she is talking about that Russ Faria. When police arrived at Pam Hupp's home, they discovered 33-year-old Louis Gumpenberger, deceased from gunshot wounds outside of Pam's bedroom. Louis Gumpenberger had lived a tragic life. At the age of 22, he had been in a horrific car accident and sustained multiple severe injuries. These injuries, which included a severe TBI, left him with both mental and physical impairments. Investigators at the scene immediately discovered a note in Louis's pocket. It read, quote, kidnap Hupp, get Russ's money from Hupp at her bank, and kill Hupp. Take Hupp back to her house and get rid of her. Make it look like Russ's wife. Make sure knife sticking out of neck. The police were immediately suspicious and did not believe her story whatsoever, even from the very beginning. I mean, partially, probably it's because it's Pam freaking Hupp. Now, Pam willingly went to the Fallon Police Department to be interviewed immediately after the shooting. Her very first spoken words in the 4-hour police interview that day were, quote, is it going to be filmed? Because I always appear on the news with Chris Hayes. Pam retold the same story and version of events to investigators about Louis Gumpenberger's attack and pursuit. She claimed that a car had squealed up in front of her house and Louis had gotten out. The driver of the car? She described Russ Faria physically without ever explicitly naming him. During their investigation, though, Pam Hupp's story was positively obliterated. Evidence obtained included 1. Cell phone records showing that Hupp had been in Louis Gumpenberger's neighborhood less than 1 hour before the shooting. She had claimed to have never met him. 2. 6 days prior, a woman by the name of Carol Alford, my absolute hero, called police to report that a woman, who obviously happened to match Hupp's description, had approached her claiming to be an NBC Dateline producer. The woman had offered her $1,000 to reenact a 911 call. And Carol Alford was brilliant. Seriously, I don't think I've ever been more impressed by a witness in a case before. She was so sketched out by Pam and said that she just had this icky, awful feeling that something wasn't right. She did not believe that Pam was who she said she was. So what did she do? Pam was in her car. So she lured Pam up into her driveway, knowing that her security cameras would pick up her license plate just in case someone, in her words, someone went missing or something happened. And that actually became very important. Upon investigation, it was in fact Pam Hupp in her own personal vehicle, and police were able to run that license plate because it was clear as day on the security footage. I'm going to go ahead and play Carol Alford's original 911 call after her encounter with Pam Hupp.
Yes, my name is Carol Alford, and I live at and I was just out with my dog, and I had a lady right by my house. She waved at me, and then she drove across the street into the court and come flying back to my house. And she asked me, she says, do you babysit? I said, no, I don't like kids. And she says, oh, and she's like, well, I'm from Dateline, and we're paying your neighbors, driving through your neighborhood to pay your neighbors $1,000 just to do a sound clip of 911 recordings, which didn't match with anything with what she asked me about babysitting. Wanted me to actually get in her car, not tell anybody where I'm going, or bring my cell phone, and drive out of this neighborhood of ours to make $1,000 to do a 45-minute 911 soundbite for them. She seemed really creepy. So I got in her car because, I know martial arts. I can defend myself against this stupid lady. Got in her car, and then when she's like, oh, we're only going a block or two over, started to leave my neighborhood. I was, oh, crap, I left my door unlocked. She drove me back. I came in my house, and I went back out. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I have to go pick up my son from work. Said she's going to come back to my house. Wanted me to get in the car to drive me down to St. Louis to supposedly pick up my kid, who's actually down the street at a friend's house. She's driving around my neighborhood trying to pick up people. Is she currently in your neighborhood? She's currently in my neighborhood, and I have her and her vehicle and license plate number on my security system. Okay, which church? That's why I had her pull my jersey. My name's Carol. I actually had her pull into my driveway so I could get this stuff on my DVR recorded security system, because if somebody goes missing in my neighborhood because of this, at least we'll know who did it. And what's your callback number? And what kind of vehicle was she in? I believe it was a Chevy, but it was like a little black SUV. She's got blonde short hair, big teeth, and she was wearing a dark blue shirt. Is she a white female, black female? Yes, she is. She's white. But didn't want to give me her name or nothing. Okay, so you don't have her name or anything? I don't, but I actually, she was like alone. I said, I got no. She was alone. What's the license plate? I have to get into my DVR system, and I actually have to call my husband to get the password for that. I don't know. Like I said, it's recorded on my DVR. I can call my husband, and if you want to send an officer out to look what I have, you guys can see what she looks like, get a better description and her vehicle and whatnot. But I can't get into the DVR without calling my husband and asking him the password. Okay. Yeah, she wanted to take me to a neighborhood across from the shops at Lake St. Louis. After she's like, oh, we're just going 2 blocks away. And I was like, uh-huh. Okay, are you at your house now? I am. I'm in my living room with my front door locked. Okay, I'm going to have an officer come meet with you, okay? All right, great. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
3. A second witness, Brent Charlton, informed police that Hupp had approached him with a similar proposition. 4. Police found 9 $100 bills in Gumpenberger's pocket. A 10th $100 bill was found on Pam Hupp's night dresser in her bedroom. And in case you guys weren't aware, cash has serial numbers. Pam withdrew 10 $100 bills. She withdrew $1,000 from the ATM broken down into 100s. That 10th $100 bill in her bedroom had a sequential serial number to 4 of the bills found on Gumpenberger's body. The more you know. 5. Police investigators determined that the knife that Louis Gumpenberger had supposedly threatened Pam with had been purchased at the Dollar Tree in O'Fallon, along with other items in Hupp's home, like maybe the pen and paper that was used to write the murder instructions. She literally went shopping at the Dollar Tree and bought the fake murder weapon along with other items that she used for this attempted framing job. She is obviously the brightest criminal ever. 6. Again with a knife. The knife that was found in Pam Hupp's car was found wedged between the passenger seat and the middle console. Similarly, the knives in Pam's kitchen were also stored wedged between the stove and the counter. 7. It was very clear that a carpet swath had been placed at the end of the hallway with the purpose of protecting Pam's carpet from Louis Gumpenberger's blood. What that indicated to police is that Pam Hupp had planned all of this, and she wanted Louis Gumpenberger to come into her house, walk to the end of the hallway where she would shoot him dead, and she actually had a big piece of carpet on top of her regular carpet to prevent his blood from seeping down and ruining her floors. And 8. Gumpenberger's impairments. Now, remember, they were mental and physical, so police believed that they would not have allowed him to follow through, carry out, or even think about this attack on Pam Hupp. The St. Charles County prosecuting attorney and the O'Fallon chief of police both believe that Pam Hupp had gone into Louis Gumpenberger's mobile home park and presented herself as Kathy, a producer for Dateline NBC. She offered $1,000 for him to reenact a 911 call and shot him in order to implicate Russ Faria in her own attempted murder. She then planted the knife and the note on his dead body. Pam Hupp was picked up and arrested 7 days later and charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. Upon her arrival at the police station, she asked to use the restroom, and what happened next literally shocked everyone. That's as far as we're going today, guys, because part 4 is going to be what happened. What did Pam Hupp do in that police station? It's pretty crazy. So we will cover that, her trial, and a state of the case, because believe it or not, this case is actually not finished. Did Pam Hupp get convicted? Did Betsy Faria's daughters ever get their life insurance money? And where is Russ now? What is he doing? A lot of stuff is going on, so stay tuned, and the final episode of our Pam Hupp series, part 4, will be coming out on Monday. Again, thank you for listening. We will have our Lori Vallow update episode coming out on Friday, so look forward to that. And again, you can find us anywhere and everywhere as We Saw the Devil. And if you're loving the podcast and want to financially support it, become a patron. Right off the bat, you get cool stuff like, stickers and postcards and things like that, access to a cool Facebook group, a whole bunch of cool perks. So if you're even curious, check us out, patreon.com/We Saw the Devil. And we will see you soon. Until next crime.